I would like to thank everyone who has been involved in building these museums from the first time anybody thought about building a museum up till now. But this is only the beginning. We build on where we've come from, on who we are, on our common heritage, and on the efforts of so many people.
I'm so glad that the concept and the buildings exist, because it opens the doors for so many people, whether they are Mississippians or they come from other states or they come from other countries, to be able to come in and see the most significant parts of the state and how it has grown to where we are today.
At the groundbreaking, it was a thrill to see the cross-section of Mississippians there supporting these museums. The civil rights community, the education community, our political leaders.
The buildings themselves are very impressive. The style of architecture that's here is kind of reverent, and the juxtaposition of the two architectural styles certainly starts to tell the story right away.
I would say these two museums are amazing. They bring history alive.
Well, this wouldn't happen but for the state of Mississippi. And the leadership, the governors, the speaker, the lieutenant governor, we haven't had anything but support from the state of Mississippi.
Well, the private donors have put up nearly $20 million, and I'm sure before it's over it will be well in excess of $20 million. The taxpayers so far about $90 million. What I want them to hear is just worth it. It's worth it for what our children learn, but also for what mamas and grandmamas and great-grandmamas learn in this, because everybody is going to learn a lot from both of these museums.
You can see it, you can touch it, you can feel it, and you understand it better than just maybe reading it in some textbook and looking at a picture.
The children are in many ways our primary target. We hope to have hundreds of buses from all over the state bringing school children to the museums, and I think it's going to be very eye-opening.
Planning these museums didn't take place overnight. It took place over a long period of time. There were a lot of us who felt that Mississippi did not have an adequate museum of history. There was also a feeling that in telling that story, we couldn't afford to let any group of people get left out.
No state in the United States has, with public funds, established a Civil Rights Museum. And I just thought for Mississippi it's very appropriate.
The history of our state is completely tied to civil rights.
I think both museums with different missions are so important to the state of Mississippi.
We've had so much help on the content and exhibits in these two museums. It's been unreal. From scholars to community advisory boards all over the state to regular Mississippians. We have listened to input, both bitter and sweet, that tells the true story of Mississippi.
I think the museums are going to be a focal point for the state. But in terms of outreach, I think the museums are going to send people all over the state.
We're all going to benefit greatly from visitors who I think will come from around the world.
As I toured the museums today, one of the things that took me by surprise was the Tent City exhibit. My grandmother was in her formative years when the 27 flood hit, and so I remember her talking about that like it was yesterday, about riding a boat from my hometown in Rolling Fork down to Vicksburg. But seeing that, it also made me realize there's so much more to the story.
We're embracing our past. We're not scared of where we come from, but we're definitely going somewhere in the future.
It has a life of its own, and with wonderful staff, with people in the communities being interested in keeping it alive. Who knows? Someone might say one day, it's one of the greatest museums ever.
Well, let us go now, ready for the celebration, thanking those that have accomplished this great task and being humbled by what has taken place.
There are so many people who made Mississippi great. This will be an opportunity for all of us to pay recognition to those individuals.
If anything, it will just highlight the courage of the human spirit
These museums are wonderful places to learn about each other, respect our differences, and also to understand that the future belongs to all of us. We are all Mississippians.
I think the museums are going to be an inspiration to anyone who comes to visit, and that the word will get out to the rest of America. Go to Mississippi, visit, learn, see the changes that have taken place.
And that's why these museums are so important, to remind us of the responsibility that each one of us has to make this a better place.